What's going on, YouTube? Chris here. Want to bring you all an update today of Litecoin. Right now we're sitting at $82.20. Some of the targets we were talking about in the last video have been hit now. So what we're going to look at today is the moving averages, the trend lines, and some of the resistance areas that we may be dealing with in the days to come here. So first of all, before we get into this, I always want you to realize that all this is based off of Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's going to pump a lot of the times, it's going to carry the altcoins with it, and vice versa. If Bitcoin dumps, even if Litecoin's looking like it may have more juice in the tank, a lot of times it will pull it back down. So always do your Bitcoin technical analysis first and then move into that Litecoin technical analysis. That's the best thing that I can do for you or say to you about that. So if you guys get some from these videos, you learn some stuff, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Like I said, I'm always trying to teach people while we're going through this TA. I want to show people some of the things that I've learned and what I've learned from the books, and I want you to apply it to your trading as well. So before we get into all this with Litecoin, first of all, I wanted to bring up on TradingView. I wanted to click into here and I wanted to show you what it's looking like for Litecoin. Now we're looking at the one-day chart because that's what we're going to be paying attention to today is the one-day chart. And what Litecoin is showing right now is 3 for a sell signal, 8 for a neutral, and 17 for a buy. Our oscillators, we have 3 for a sell, 7 for a neutral, 1 for a buy, and that's because we are in that overbought territory now on many things like the RSI. We're up around 75, which we'll get into all that, but that's the reason why our oscillators right now are showing that we may need some little bit of a cool down before we make that next leg to the upside. And then over here, moving averages, 0 sell, 1 neutral, 16 buy, and the reason for that is we're up above our 20 EMA, we're up above our 40, our 50, and our 200, so the trend is up, the river is up right now, and that's something very important to remember. So as we look at Litecoin, like I said, the one thing that I'm looking at is the RSI. We're getting a little overextended. If I throw this up here, we're up around 75 right now, and we're starting to flatten out just a hair. Do you see this? How we're flat up here, but the price continues up. So that's something that we do want to pay attention to. Am I saying that we have to drop right now? I'm not at all, guys, because we're still respecting this yellow trend line that I'm paying a lot of attention to, as well as this 20 EMA. And we're just cruising right up through that. And another big thing that I'm paying a lot of attention to, if we get this golden cross here, this could really push us up to the upside to where we can go back and challenge that $145 again. And as you see, when we had this death cross last time, this 50 cross down through the 200, we went from $85 all the way down to $35. So when we get this positive golden cross, if we already get this, that may be enough to send us up here to challenge that 142. But what's going to happen is we need to first break this 8207, find support off it. So right here, we don't want to start dropping down below that. Consolidate right on this area, keep it as support, and then potentially move up to around that 102, which I would say it'd be more $100 psychologically. Just like Bitcoin, 10,000 psychological, for Litecoin, that 100 is psychological, and that's definitely something that we need to break up above, hold it as support, and never drop back below it again. That's the important thing, guys. When you break through these old resistances, you want them to become support. You don't want to start dropping back through them again. Just how we've broken through on a very strong candle, this 200-day moving average, we do not want to start dropping back down below that again. That would be a very bad sign for Litecoin. But right now, Litecoin is just chugging up strong. It is really strong right now. The volume has been increasing. As you can see here, it's really picked up. And guys, this is a moving average in pink here, and you can tell when the volume's going up or the volume's swelling, as you can see here. Now, another concern I wanted to point out to you here. So this is basically like a long leg doji candle up here. So there's a lot of indecision here. We'll just call it a doji candle. A lot of fight between the bulls and the bears, and it also came on a lot of volume. So that's definitely something you want to pay attention to, because that's some short-term traders selling out right there, going back and forth. You have the people who are FOMO buying, and then you also have some people who are selling out right now, anticipating a little bit of a cool down, maybe even back to this 20, somewhere in there around $71 to $75 before we make that next leg up. So you have short-term traders taking their profits. Now, if you're just a hodler or whatnot, this is the time to hodl, guys. This is when you want to hold. When you're in an uptrend, each time you get those dips in an uptrend, that's when you want to be buying, especially off one of these trend lines with a bullish engulfing candle. That would have been a beautiful spot to get in. But that's what you want to look at. Each time the market pumps, it's always going to breathe. We're going to pump, we're going to breathe, we're going to pump, we're going to breathe. And that's what we need to do. In my opinion, we just need to calm things down a little bit, because whenever we go straight up, just like we learned before, we can go straight up extremely hard. We can get in those overbought territories, but a lot of times you'll just come crashing right back down. So we want a healthy trend. We want those healthy those staircases, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. That's what we're looking for. Just as you saw back over in here, we're having those lower highs and lower lows. But if we can get this golden cross, guys, take a look. Last time we got this golden cross at $43 and we ended up going all the way up to $143. So we put $100 on top of that golden cross when it happened. So if that could happen again right around this area here, about 60, if we repeated the same thing, not saying it has to happen again, but that could take us up to those levels around that 145, 150, and that's what we need to do. We really need to start challenging some of those higher levels, start breaking through these resistances and turning them into support, and that's how the trend changes, guys. Just like we were talking about probably 3 months ago or so when I was saying really look down in here when that trend was changing for Litecoin. We were talking a lot about that when we set that first higher low right in here, and then also when we got this trend line break. And if we do this again, we bring this down right in here in yellow, you can see where we had our trend line break, and since then it's just been a beautiful run up. And you can also see that trend line break did come on volume. So these are all the things that you can spot out. So when people say technical analysis doesn't work, guys, I would beg to differ. It has helped me greatly in my trading. Do you want to pay attention to fundamental news? Absolutely. You want to factor all that stuff in, but for me, I really love going off price action. I think price action is going to tell the story because it's going to show you the buying, the selling pressure, when are the whales stepping in, all different types of things. So that's definitely something that's extremely important and you want to pay attention to. And then ultimately, guys, we could draw a trend line right here up through here, and this is our major trend line that we want to hold. We do not want to start dropping back down below that, because that would then therefore be a lower high than what we've dealt with before overall. So as you get some from this, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Just remember, we're in that overbought territory right now. Could we still run harder? Maybe, you know, start challenging up around this area here, about 87 or so in this push? Absolutely. But just be expecting at some point here some type of little retracement before we start powering up. But I'm paying a lot of attention here to this golden cross. That's a big deal, and if it does happen, that could be the catalyst that helps us get back to around this $145 in the days and weeks to come. So guys, leave it down low, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Let me know what you're doing. Are you hodling right now? Are you in a position? Are you waiting for a retracement so you can jump in a position? I want to hear what you guys are doing, and really pay attention to these moving averages. They can be so important for you. And as you see, this 40 is now crossing over this 200. We've had our 20 over it. Now all we need is that 50 over it. Get that golden cross, guys. God bless you all. Take care.